Hello everyone. Concurrency control in databases. Session 5 of Module 5 Database Management System. The content is developed under Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Today we will discuss about concurrency control in databases. In this topic, we will discuss about two-phase locking techniques for concurrency control. Under this, we will discuss about types of locks and system lock tables, guaranteeing serializability by two-phase locking, and then test multiple choice questions references. Concurrency control in databases. Concurrency control techniques that are used to ensure the non-interference or isolation property of concurrently executing transactions. Most of these concurrent techniques ensure serializability of schedules, which using concurrency control protocols means sets of rules that guarantee serializability. One important set of protocols known as two-phase locking protocols. One important set of protocols known as two-phase locking protocols. This implies the techniques of locking data items to prevent multiple transactions from accessing the items concurrently. Another set of concurrency control protocol uses timestamps. A timestamp is a technique. A timestamp is a unique identifier for each transactions. Another set of concurrency protocol uses timestamps. A timestamp is a unique identifier for each transactions generated by the system. Timestamp values are generated in the same order as the transaction start times. Concurrency control protocols that use timestamp ordering to ensure serializability multi-version concurrency control protocol that use multiple versions of a data item. One multi-version protocol extends timestamp order to motivation to multi-version timestamp ordering, and another extends timestamp order to two-phase locking. A protocol based on the concept of validation or certification of a transaction after it executes its operations. These operations, sometimes called optimistic protocols, and they also assures that multiple versions of a data item can exist. A protocol that is based on the concept of snapshot isolation. A protocol that is based on the concept of snapshot isolation, which can utilize techniques similar to those proposed in validation based on multi-version methods or multi-version protocols. These protocols are used in a number of commercial DBM database management systems, and in certain cases are considered to have lower overhead than locking based protocols. Another factor that affects concurrency control is the granularity of the data items. Granularity of the data items, that is, what portion of the database a data item represents. An item can be as small as a single attribute. Value single attribute value or as large as disk block or even a whole file or the entire database. Next, two-phase locking techniques for concurrency control. The concept of locking data items is one of the main techniques used for controlling the concurrent execution of transactions. A lock is a variable associated with a data item. A lock is a variable associated with a data item in the database. Generally, there is a lock for each data item in the database. There is a lock for each data item in the database. A lock describes the status of the data item with respect to possible operations that can be applied to that item. It is used for synchronizing the access by concurrent transactions. A transaction locks an object before using it. When an object is locked by another transaction, the requesting transaction must wait. When an object is locked by another transaction, the requesting transaction must wait. Next, types of locks and system lock tables. There are several types of locks are used in concurrency control. To introduce locking concept gradually, first we discuss about binary locks and then shared or exclusive locks and then certified lock. First we will discuss about binary locks, which are simple but also too restrictive. Binary locks are simple but are also too restrictive for database concurrency control purposes and so are not used much. Binary locks are not used much. Then we discuss shared or exclusive locks. It's also known as read-write locks, which provide more general locking capabilities and are used in database locking schemas. An additional type of lock called a certified lock, and we saw how it can be used to improve performance of locking protocols. Binary locks. A binary lock can have two states or values. A binary lock can have two states or values, locked and unlocked, lock and unlock. In terms of binary, 1 and 0. Okay, lock and unlock in terms of binary, 1 and 0. A distinct lock is associated with each database item. A distinct lock is associated with each database item called X. If the value of the lock on X is 1, if the value of lock on X is 1, item X cannot be accessed by a database operations that request the item. If the value of the lock on X is 0, the item can be accessed when requested. If the value of the lock on X is 0, the item can be accessed when requested. And the lock value is changed to 1, and then the lock value is changed to 1. We refer to the current value or state of the lock associated with data item X as lock of X. Lock of X. There are two operations. One is lock item, another one is unlock item. There are two binary operations, means binary operations. Lock item and another one is unlock item are used with binary locking. A transaction request access to an item X by first issue a lock item X operation. Lock of X operation if lock of X is equal to 1. The transaction is forced to wait. If lock of X is equal to 1, then the transaction is forced to wait. Then the data item X is locked. If lock of X is equal to 0, if lock of X equal to 0, it is set to 1 and the transaction is allowed to access the item X. If lock of X is equal to 1, the transaction is forced to wait. If lock of X is equal to 0, it is set to 1 and the transaction is allowed to access an item X. When the transaction is through using the item, it issues an unlock underscore item of X operations, which sets lock of X back to 0. Back to 0 means unlock the item so that X may be accessed by other transactions. Hence, a binary lock enforces mutual exclusion on the data item. Binary lock enforces mutual exclusion on the data item. Lock underscore item. Lock underscore item of X. If say label B, if lock of X is equal to 0, lock of X is equal to 0 means the item is unlocked. Then lock of X is equal to 1, lock the item. If lock of X is equal to 0 means item is unlocked, then lock of X equal to 1. Else begin wait until lock of X is equal to 0. And the lock manager wakes up the transaction. Go to B. End. Next, unlock underscore item of X. Lock of X equal to 0 means unlock the item. 0 means unlock the item. If any transactions are waiting, means accessing the data item. 0 means accessing the data item. Then wakes up one of the waiting transactions. if any transactions in the queue, then wakes up one of the waiting transactions. This is the lock and unlock operations for binary lock. This is the lock item of X, and this one is the unlock item of X. Initially, the lock of X is equal to 0 means unlock. Then lock of X is equal to 1 means the item is locked. Else begin wait until lock of X is equal to 0. Okay, the transactions in the queue has to wait until the lock becomes free or unlocked, and the lock manager wakes up the transaction. Go to B. The same procedure is repeated for the next transaction end. Next, unlock underscore item of X. Initially, the item is unlocked, and lock of X is equal to 0. If any transactions are waiting, if any transactions in the queue, then wake up one of the waiting transactions. The lock underscore item and unlock underscore item operations must be implemented as indivisible units. Lock underscore item and unlock underscore item operations must be implemented as indivisible units. It's also called as critical sections in operating systems. It's also called as critical sections in operating systems. That is, no interleaving should be allowed. Means no interleaving should be allowed once a lock or unlock operation is started until the operation terminates or the transaction waits. The wait comment within the lock underscore item of X. The wait comment within the lock underscore item of X operation is usually implemented by putting the transactions in a waiting state or waiting queue for item X until X is unlocked and the transaction can be granted access to it. Other transactions that also wait to access X are placed in the same queue. Hence, the wait command is considered to be outside the lock underscore item operation. It is quite simple to implement a binary lock. All that is needed in a binary valued variable. Binary valued means 0 and 1. Lock associated with each data item X in the database. In its simplest form, each lock can be a record. Each lock can be a record with 3 fields. Each lock can be a record with 3 fields. Data underscore item underscore name, data item name, lock, locking, transaction, locking underscore transaction. These are the 3 fields. Each lock can be a record with 3 fields. Data item name, lock, locking, transaction. Every transaction must obey the following rules. Every transactions must obey the following rules. A transaction T must issue the operation lock underscore item of X before any read underscore item of X or write underscore item of X operations are performed in T. A transaction T must issue the operation lock underscore item of X before any read underscore item of X or write underscore item of X operations are performed in T. Right? First issue the operation lock underscore item X before any read and write operations in T. Second rule, a transaction T must issue the operation unlock underscore item of X. Unlock the item after all read underscore item of X and write underscore item of X operations are completed in T. Once the read and write operations are completed on X, unlock the item. In first rule, lock the item before read and write operations in T. Second rule, unlock the item after read and write operations completed in transaction T. Third rule, a transaction T will not issue a lock underscore item of X operation if it already holds the lock on item X. Okay, if already holds the lock on item X, then no need to issue another lock. And another rule, a transaction T will not issue an unlock underscore item of X operation unless it already holds the lock in item X. Okay, if the already holds the lock on item X, then no need to issue unlock operation and in transaction T. Next one. There are 4 rules in binary locks. These rules can be enforced by the lock manager module of the database management systems between the lock underscore item of X and unlock underscore item of X operations in transaction T. T is set to hold the lock on item X. At most, one transaction can hold the lock on a particular item. Thus, no two transactions can access the same data item concurrently. No two transactions can access the data item concurrently. Next, shared or exclusive, it's also called as read-write locks. Binary locking scheme is too restrictive. So we discussed in the previous sections. Binary locking scheme is too restrictive for database items because at most one transaction can hold a lock on a given item. Binary means 0 or 1, unlock or lock. Only one item can hold a lock on a given. Only one transaction can hold a lock on a given item. Is the one of the restrictions of the binary locks. There are 3 locking operations in read-write locks or shared exclusive locks. Read underscore lock of X, write underscore lock of X, and unlock of X. There are 3 locking operations, means read-write locking operations: read underscore lock of X, write underscore lock of X, and unlock of X. We should allow several transactions to access the same data item X if they all access X for reading purposes only. If a transaction is to write an item X, it must have exclusive access to X. For this purpose, a different type of lock called a multiple mode lock. It is also called as multiple mode lock. Read mode, write mode, unlock mode. Read lock, write lock, and unlock. There are three locking operations: read underscore lock of x, write underscore lock of x, and unlock of x. A read lock item, a read underscore lock of x. A read locked item is also called shared lock, shared locked, because other transactions are allowed to read the item. Other transactions are allowed to read the item. Means any number of transactions can read the data item. Means it's also called as shared lock. Write locked item is also called exclusive lock. Write lock item is also called exclusive locking or exclusive locked, because a single transaction exclusively holds the lock on the item. Only one transaction can write the item. Read means read lock is also called as shared lock. Write lock is also called as exclusive lock. One method to implement read write lock is to keep track of the number of transactions that hold a shared means read lock on an item in the lock table. Each record in the lock table will have 4 fields. Each record in the lock table will have 4 fields. Data underscore item underscore name means data item name, lock, number of reads, locking transactions. These are all the 4 fields of lock. If lock of x is equal to write lock, if lock of x is equal to write lock, that holds the exclusive or write lock on x. That holds the exclusive or write lock on x. Means only the writing the item, data item x. If lock of x is equal to read locked, that hold the shared means read lock on x. When we use the shared or exclusive locking scheme, the system must enforce the following rules. What are the rules of shared and exclusive locking system? A transaction T must issue the operation read underscore lock of x or write underscore lock of x before any read underscore item of x operation is performed in T. A transaction T must issue the operation read underscore lock of x or write underscore lock of x before any read underscore item of x operation. Okay, before reading an item in T. Okay, the operation read lock and write lock must be performed. A transaction T must issue the operation write underscore lock of x before any write underscore item of x operation is performed in T. Before any item is writing in T, transaction T must issue the operation write underscore lock of x. A transaction T must issue the operation unlock of x after all read underscore item of x and write underscore item of X operations are completed in T. Next, a transaction T will not issue a read underscore lock of X operation if it already holds a read lock or a write lock on item X. A transaction T will not issue a read underscore lock of X operation if already holds a read lock or a write lock on item X. A transaction T will not issue a write underscore lock of X operation if it already holds a read lock or a write lock on item X. This rule may also be relaxed for upgrading of locks. Okay, this rule may also be relaxed for upgrading of locks. A transaction T will not issue an unlock of X operation unless it already holds a read lock or a write lock on item X. There are 6 rules you need to follow the 6 rules in shared exclusive locking system. Next, conversion, upgrading, downgrading of locks, conversion of locks or upgrading, downgrading of locks. A transaction that already holds a lock on item X is allowed under certain conditions to convert the lock from one lock state to another. A transaction that already holds a lock on item X is allowed under certain conditions to convert the lock from one state to another state. It means one lock state to another lock state. For example, it is possible for a transaction T to issue a read underscore lock of item X and then later to upgrade the lock by issuing a write underscore lock of X operation if T is the only transaction holding a read lock on X at the time it issues the write underscore lock of X operations. The lock can be upgraded. Otherwise, the lock must wait. It is also possible for a transaction T to issue a write underscore lock of item X and then later to downgrade the lock by issuing a read underscore lock of X operation. Next, guaranteeing serializability by two-phase locking. A transaction is said to follow the two-phase locking protocol. A transaction is said to follow the two-phase locking protocol if all locking operations read underscore lock, write underscore lock precede the first unlock operation in the transaction. Such a transaction can be divided into two phases: expanding or growing phase and shrinking phase. In the expanding or growing phase, during which new locks and items can be acquired but none can be released. In the first phase, new locks and items can be acquired but none can be released. In shrinking phase or second phase, during which existing locks can be released but no new locks can be acquired. In the first phase, new locks and items can be acquired but none can be released. In the second phase, locks can be released, but no new locks can be acquired. If lock conversion is allowed, then upgrading of locks from read lock to write lock must be done during the expanding phase. Okay. Upgrading of locks from read lock to write lock must be done during the expanding or growing phase. And downgrading of locks from write lock to read lock. Write lock to read lock must be done in the shrinking phase. In the second phase. In the expanding phase, from read lock to write lock. In the shrinking phase, from write lock to read lock. For example, there are two transactions, transaction T1 and transaction T2. Here in this figure, the two transactions T1 and T2 do not follow the two-phase locking protocol. Two-phase locking protocol. This is not following the two-phase locking protocol because the write lock of X, the write lock of X operation follows the unlock of Y in transaction T1. Here the two transactions T1 and T2 do not follow the two-phase locking protocol because the write underscore lock of X follows the unlock of item Y operation in T1. Similarly, the write underscore lock of Y operation follows the unlock of item X operation in T2. Next figure B indicates results of possible serial schedules of T1 and T2. The results of serial schedules of T1 and T2. In the first case, there are two initial values, X is equal to 20, Y is equal to 30. In the first case, result serial schedule T1 followed by T2. Serial schedule T1 followed by T2 means first T1, after completion of T1, then start execution of transaction T2. T1 followed by T2. Here, read lock of Y. Y is 30. Read item Y. Unlock Y. Write underscore lock of X means writing item X 20. Read item X 20. Here reading item Y 30. Y is 30. X is 20. X is equal to X plus Y. X is equal to X plus Y. Plus 30 is equal to 50. X is equal to 50. Then write item X. T1 followed by T2. Then T2. Read underscore lock of X. read underscore item x. What is x here? 50. X is 50. Unlock x. Write underscore lock of y. Y read item y. 30. Y is remains same. 30. Y is 30. X is equal to 50. Y is equal to 30. X is equal to x plus y. Y is equal to x plus y. What is y here? X is 50. 50. Y is 30. 50 plus 30, 80. Y is 80. Writing 80 as value of item y. Okay, this is the serial schedule of T1 followed by T2. This is the result. X is 50, Y is 80. In the second case, result of serial schedule T2 followed by T1. First, T2. Read lock. Read item x. Read lock means only reading the item x. Read item x. What is x here? 20. Unlock x. Write lock y means writing the item y. Read item y. What is y here? Y is 30. Write item y. Y is equal to x plus y. Y is equal to x plus y. 50. Y is 50. Right? Then transaction T1. Read underscore lock of y. Read item y. What is y here? 50. Unlock of y. Write underscore lock of x. Read item x. X is 20. X is equal to x plus y. X plus y means 20 plus 50, 70. Right? Write item x. Right? Y is 50, x is 70. Is the serial schedule. First one is T1 followed by T2. In the second case, T2 followed by T1. Transactions T1 dash and T2 dash, which are the same as in the previous transactions T1 and T2, but follow the two-phase locking protocol. T1 dash and T2 dash follow the two-phase locking protocol. A basic, conservative, strict, and rigorous two-phase locking. There are a number of variations of two-phase locking: basic, conservative, strict, and rigorous two-phase locking. The technique just described is known as basic two-phase locking. The technique just described is known as basic two-phase locking. A variation known as conservative two-phase locking or static two-phase locking, which requires a transaction to lock all the items it accesses before the transaction begins execution. Conservative two-phase locking means is also called as static two-phase locking, which requires a transaction to lock all items it accesses before the transaction begins execution. By pre-declaring its read set and write set. Conservative two-phase locking is a deadlock-free protocol. Conservative two-phase locking is a deadlock-free protocol. However, it is difficult to use in practice because of the need to pre-declare the read set and write set, which is not possible in some situations. The most popular two-phase locking is strict two-phase locking. Strict two-phase locking, which guarantees strict schedules. In this variation, a transaction team does not release any of its exclusive means write locks until after it commits or aborts. Hence, no other transaction can read or write an item that is written by T unless T has committed, leading to a strict schedule for recoverability. Strict 2PL means two-phase locking is a deadlock-free. Conservative two-phase locking is also a deadlock-free protocol. Strict two-phase locking is also a deadlock-free protocol. The last one is rigorous two-phase locking. A more restrictive variation of strict two-phase locking is rigorous two-phase locking, which also guarantees strict schedules. In this variation, a transaction T does not release any of its locks, exclusive or shared, means write or read, until after it commits or aborts, and so it is easier to implement than strict two-phase locking. Next, test multiple choice questions. First question is a two-phase locking protocol variant that requires that all locks be held until the transaction commit is called. Lock point two-phase locking protocol, deadlock two-phase locking protocol, strict two-phase locking protocol, rigorous two-phase locking protocol. Answer is D, rigorous two-phase locking protocol. Second question, a transaction that is inserting a new tuple into the database in given n, A, shared lock, B, mutual lock, C, exclusive lock, D, no lock. Answer is C, exclusive lock. Question number 3, a protocol that requires that each transaction must issue lock and unlock request in two phases is called bilock locking protocol, two-phase locking protocol, two-level locking protocol, lock point locking protocol. Answer is B, two-phase locking protocol. Fourth question, cascading rollbacks can be avoided by A, strict two-phase locking protocol, B. Rigorous two-phase locking protocol. C. Deadlock two-phase locking protocol. D. Lock point two-phase locking protocol. Answer is A. Stick two-phase locking protocol. Fifth question. The two modes of locking a data item are termed as shared and A. Composite, B. Computable, C. Exclusive, D. Linear. C. C. Exclusive. Two-phase locking does not ensure freedom from A. Obtain locks, B. Release locks, C. New locks, D. Deadlocks. Answer is D. Deadlocks. Two-phase locking does not ensure freedom from deadlocks. Next question. A set of rules applied over a transaction that may lock and unlock each of the data items in the database is known to be A. Unlocking protocol, B. Locking protocol, C. Deadlock protocol, D. Validation protocol. Answer is locking protocol. The strict two-phase locking protocol allows releasing the exclusive locks to the A. Beginning of transaction, B. During execution of transaction, C. End of transaction, D. Never in the lifetime of transaction. Answer is C. End of transaction. For answers 1 D, 2 C, 3 B, 4 A, 5 C, 6 D, 7 B, 8 C. Answers. Thank you.